Hello everyone, this is Cody Lee of BlackCatBooks.org, author of I, the Dragon, Cruel and Beautiful, Rabbit Hole, King Dio, Lauren Frey, and the upcoming Mouth of the Dragon. Lately I've been playing a lot of Chrono Trigger on my on stream. I've been playing a lot of this classic JRPG and kind of experiencing it under a new light. For those of you who aren't aware, I first played Chrono Trigger when it was first released on the DS in 2008, and I came away from it feeling kind of disappointed with it. I thought it wasn't all that it lived up to. So many people had sold me on the game due to it having a reputation as being one of the best games on the Super Nintendo, one of the greatest JRPGs of all time, and being already a fan of a lot of major Final Fantasy games, stuff like Final Fantasy VI, stuff like Final Fantasy X, Bad Kaitos Origins, like stuff like that. I was really, really excited to get into Chrono Trigger and experience this masterpiece. And my initial impressions actually weren't all that positive. I liked the game just fine. I didn't have a problem with it, but I felt as if the game just kind of didn't really do anything for me, actually. I felt it was kind of outdated. I didn't care for the combat or the characters. I thought it was a little bit too simplistic. I liked the time travel aspect, but I felt it was kind of underutilized. There were all these aspects to it that just kind of made me come away thinking that, this game might be just a little bit overrated, right? I didn't think it was one of the best games on Super Nintendo. I didn't think it was one of the best games ever made. I didn't think it was one of the best RPGs Squaresoft ever put out. I came away with this one with a kind of negative opinion, honestly, and I maintained that for a very, very long time until this most recent playthrough. Keep in mind, I kept this opinion up until just recently. Like, I played the game a couple of times. Like, I played it on the 20th anniversary in 2015. I played it when it first came out in DS, and I'm playing it now. And the main thing about playing it now is that I've now played a lot more classic RPGs that came out around that same period. I've played stuff like Breath of Fire. I've played, like, some of the older Final Fantasy games. I played Dragon Quest, and I think I kind of understand where this game the era from which with this game, where this game came from. I think I did not quite appreciate just what Chrono Trigger did for its time. Like, I didn't appreciate the visual design. I didn't appreciate the original combat. I didn't appreciate, like, the characters, the story, like the alternate endings, like the tone, the twists, like, all of it is very, very different and unique from most traditional RPGs at the time. And I think it's one of those games that has influenced the industry so strongly that you see it everywhere, probably even outside the genre. And because of that, it's kind of hard for someone coming into it to appreciate what it did, right? To appreciate its contributions to gaming. If you weren't there when it first came out, if you're not a hardcore fan of the genre, you're not going to realize just how good Chrono Trigger actually is. And that's kind of my feelings on it. After experiencing some of these other RPGs, including stuff like that came later, like Final Fantasy VII, I do have a much stronger appreciation for what Chrono Trigger does. Like, I like the characters, I like the art style, I like the music. In particular, the OST is great. I like the idea of going through time, going back like 65 million years of human history and just fighting monsters and stuff. It just getting in all these adventures, like to stop the end of the world. Like, it's a cool idea, right? I kind of stand by my initial impression in the sense of, like, I kind of feel like there are better Super Nintendo RPGs out there, but that doesn't mean that this game wasn't a great game in its own right. And that, to me, is the most important thing. Like, if you're a hardcore RPG fan, you owe it to yourself to at least give Chrono Trigger a shot.